Okay. And
Are we live?
Should be good. Yeah. We should be good.
Welcome, everybody, for the late night drift sessions. We are here at Texas Motor Speedway, and we're tired. But it's been an interesting evening, interesting day. I will say the weather started out very pleasant. But just for you guys that are tuning in, we are at the LS Fest Texas event 2023, obviously. We are live. We're in the pits. Most everybody is gone, right? But there are still some cars. So if you've never been to LS Fest Texas, what's cool about it is they let the drivers use the NASCAR paddocks. So they're undercover, right? And they have shade, a decent breeze.
Plenty of lights.
Plenty of lights. We have outlets. We're able to do this show. Weren't really planning on it doing it initially, but we've missed you guys, right? We haven't done a show.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I was out of town, and my brother, he failed to come through and do the show while I was away. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. But on a lighter note, we've had a great day. Those of you guys that watched the live stream, what live stream we're able to do, it ended up just being practice. So originally, it was designed to be practice from 2 to 5, I believe.
Correct.
And then qualifying at 9:30. Now, Texas Motor Speedway has that. It's an official track. We're at an official NASCAR. We're in the center of the track, so we see the oval all around. So it's pretty cool. Much like Nopi National was in Atlanta Motor Speedway, if you've ever been to that.
And the Mega Jumbotron, too.
Mega Jumbotron, unfortunately, we're not able to use, but
Be great.
it would be great. That being said, since it's an official track, lightning strikes are taken very seriously. And beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Up until it was time for the drift portion of the track. Now, we're using the FD layout, not the recent one. I think we're using the most recent FD layout. Most recent Formula Drift layout here for LS Fest. But lightning struck right before we're getting ready to start, and their laws or whatever their regulations are, every time there's a lightning strike within 8 miles-ish, I want to say, we had to pause for a half hour. So it'd be like 25 minutes before into that first half-hour break, and then boom, lightning strike, and it'd reset the clock. Every time lightning strike, it'd reset the clock. Ended up forcing us to basically call the first session a wash. So for 3 hours, we were just in lightning warnings, which kind of sucked. Fast forward, we were able to talk to Nate Hamilton, some of the other drivers. Nate Hamilton gave us a great recommendation for downtown Denton.
Yeah.
And we got to get some great coffee. Thank you, Nate Hamilton. Much love. Thank you so much. Great to see you out here freaking ripping it, dude. You're, like, insane. Anyways, it's been a privilege to just watch him, like, freaking kill it this last couple of years. Anyhow, went got some coffee, checked out the downtown square, came back, and I think initially they were going to squash it, right?
So the thing is, they originally were scheduled to, let's have a drivers meeting around 8 o'clock, and then let's assess the situation. Let's see how bad it's going to be.
Right.
And then they realized that there was an opportunity to actually just get some cars out onto the grid and see what happens. And let's run it until 9:30, which is the start time for the qualifying session.
Right.
And reassess. And, of course, it just didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to. And it ended up being where the qualifying was decided that it was better off doing the qualifying the next day. Not only because of the time issue, weather issue, but also I think most importantly, hey, you're right
Sorry.
there.
Sorry. Nate Hamilton opened up his cooler. He said we could, anyhow, keep going.
Indulge, right?
Indulge, yeah.
So the other thing, too, is that they felt that it was better to capitalize on the daylight for the qualifying session, so that way they can just try to pinpoint and get a better view on all of the runs, so that way they're judged accordingly.
Yeah.
And so that's the situation now. With only a bit of practice session, about roughly 2 hours that took place today.
Yeah.
And qualifying is going to move on for tomorrow. As to what time, we don't know. The only thing that I could presume it's going to happen is that the original scheduled time of having practice for tomorrow happening from 2 p.m. And then competition happening at 9:30, I figured they're going to try to expand the 2:30 time slot to not only include practice and qualifying,
right,
and then have the competition at the end of the night. But
right.
again, don't quote me. I don't know. I'm not sure, but hopefully, for all we know, they might just do where 12 o'clock noon.
Right. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. It's one of those things that we're rolling with the punches. Nick Swan is freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy just he adapts and overcomes his crew. We just saw James Webb over here. I mean, back there now. I mean, A1, just top-notch, world-class crew. Just able to just adapt and overcome. Pat Goodin is one of the judges. Zach Polof is one of the judges. Ben Gibson is the third guest judge. It's been a great event, and it's been a great weekend. Ben, this has probably been one of the – I've learned more this weekend already. So much. I'm going to fill you in.
Finish. Yeah,
so there's a couple things. One thing I noticed that – talking with an accent, it just comes so natural. It flows from me. I landed on the plane, and I just started talking different. And it's like I'm in touch with my roots. I went to London I was in London and Paris, and let me tell you something. I tried to talk with London, but it's just natural. I feel like I'm home. Like little birdie is left the nest and he's out there, and I learned a couple sayings, right? So when it's hot, what they say, one of the things I heard was, it's hotter than a goat in a pepper patch. What is that? That's nice. It's hot. Wait, another one. Wait. No. He's all hat and no cowboy, right? That's another one. That boy's got a hole in his screen door, something like that, right? I mean, we got some saying. So I've learned a lot. Another thing, I've been learning a lot from Nick and Pat Goodin. Nick taught me nut to butt. I never heard nut to butt before. What is nut to butt? I figured, nut to butt. It kind of makes sense now.
Oh, boy.
So what nut to butt? If you never heard what nut to butt is, that means when your nut is close to your butt. That means the nut of one section is at the butt of another section. It's nut to butt. That means back to back is what it is. That's Texas talk, or maybe, I don't know where that came from, but it means back to back. So you guys just nut to butt. You hear me say that from now on? I mean back to back. 2, I learned when Pat Goodin's truck is leaking. When Pat Goodin's truck is leaking, doesn't necessarily mean the truck is leaking. What it kind of means is that Pat Goodin is leaking a little bit. I reached out. I felt like a sucker. Like he said, Pat Goodin's truck is leaking.
Too.
He walked around inside. I was like, I want to help Pat. Like his truck's leaking.
Yeah.
We got to fix Pat Goodin's truck. Then I go around the corner and Pat Goodin's taking a piss.
Yeah.
So Pat Goodin was leaking. So anyhow, it's been very informative. Nate Hamilton he's shown me a great spot to have coffee. Jupiter coffee was pretty good. I want to try an LSA burger. That's gonna be nice.
That would be nice.
I'm telling you, it's just natural. You guys criticized me for my Boston /
Irish,
Scottish. They kind of roll the R's.
Yeah.
A little bit roll the R's. So, anyways,
this guy's unhinged.
I'm
as
unhinged.
You can tell.
Anyways, Nate Hamilton, it's his fault. Nate Hamilton, I love you, but it's your fault.
Okay.
Anyhow, but you were going to say something else, and I interrupted you.
No. It was just.
Oh, wait, can you show them the camera down? Well, I guess they can kind of see, but can you give that little camera shot? So just so you guys can see the pit. So, yeah, that's the little drivers down there kind of hanging out. Everybody's just relaxing, having a couple beers, soaking in the experience. Unfortunately, like we said, they didn't have that 3 hours of practice. There's about I don't know. Oh, look at this.
Hey.
Woo! We got Pat Goodin here. Pat, are you going to talk on? Oh, you want to talk? We got a headset for you. Trucks leaking.
Is that a thing around here?
It is a thing, especially Pat's truck leaks. It's it has big leaks. All right, we got you. All right. Oh, you're rocking them. You're rocking them glasses. Okay, so wait, I'm gonna change voice. Okay. We have the world famous Pat Goodin here. Pat Goodin, the world class judge here. He is so Pat Goodin.
Let me fix.
Oh, yeah, fix that. What's wrong with you?
Fixing?
Fix it. I don't know. Fixins. Fixins like dinner. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me.
Yeah.
So, Pat, what do you think about the event so far today?
It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucked that we didn't do anything for 6 hours.
Sucks. So it's kind of like, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. So there's a joke there somewhere about sucking and being great.
Oh, yeah,
but
right.
we're going to let that lie.
Yeah, let it lie.
Let it lie.
Let sleeping dogs lie.
Sleeping dogs lie. Oh, that's another one.
Yeah.
I learned he's all hat, no cowboy.
Oh, that's a big Texas thing.
It is. Okay,
yeah.
so I never. There's that boy's got a hole in the screen door. You heard that one? It's hotter than a goat in a pepper patch. No, I googled.
I mean, I
Texas
like it.
thing. Yeah, it's different. I was laughing.
Yeah.
So what's up? What's going on? Talk to me, baby.
Well, we did nothing for 6 hours today because lightning.
Hashtag because lightning.
Because this is a SMI owned track, and NASCAR stuff. And if there's lightning within, was it 8 miles?
Yeah.
If there's lightning within 8 miles, we have to wait for 30 minutes, and every time a lightning strike happens, it resets. So I left the track for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I went and got some chicky tendies from Buc-ee's.
Oh, yeah. I've been
Buc-ee's. Extra gravy.
Wait, hold on a second. Where do you get the gravy from?
Buc-ee's. It's in the thing.
No, hold on a second. Okay, so I'm sorry to cut you off because I know there's more pressing matters, but
right.
I've been hitting Buc-ee's up.
Yep.
Sorry, babe. My wife's watching.
Oh.
She's like, "You're supposed to eat healthy."
Sorry.
No, too bad. Anyhow, I had the big old chicken fajita burrito.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I had the Texas cheesesteak burrito.
Yeah.
And I had the
So
brisket.
you're getting pre-made stuff.
Oh.
You gotta go a little touchscreen.
Touchscreen.
It's like a Wawa scenario.
Really?
Like Texas Wawa.
So is it like is it a brown gravy?
No, it's like a white gravy.
It's a white gravy.
Yeah.
Like a sausage gravy?
Yeah, but there's sausage in it.
Oh,
but you go over
I can
and
put some sausage in it. Sausage. Because they sell sausage there, too.
So anyways, you go a little touchscreen, you dial it up. Chicky tendies.
Chicky tendies.
Comes with fries. And you go, oh, that's what I want. And you click next screen.
Mm-hmm.
It goes, do you want extra gravy? Or first it goes, do you want ketchup, gravy, or both? Both.
Okay.
You click both. And it goes, do you want an extra chicky tendy? I go, yeah. I'm a patriot,
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, come on. America.
Click it. And then it goes, do you want extra gravy? I go, again,
America.
patriot.
Yep.
Click it.
Bam.
So I got that. And then I went to the hotel, and I ate my chicky tendies with gravy. I'm also, like, a little weird. Sometimes I dip my chicky tendies in the ketchup.
And the gravy. No,
not both.
Oh,
no,
okay.
not both.
Well, so
But
you're not that.
in the ketchup.
Okay.
I ate that, and then my truck, the window regulator went bad at LZ's thing.
Hence the
So
white
it's
tape.
Taped up.
Yeah.
Got so hot here, tape started to fail. So I bought more duct tape at Buc-ee's.
Wait, hold on a second. It got hotter than a goat in a pepper patch is what you meant to say. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, man.
As you were.
So I had to get more duct tape. Go to the hotel, eat my chicky tendies, gravy. Gravy was super hot.
Oh.
Then Zach and Webb show up. We pulled my window back up, put black duct tape on it this time.
Yeah, because we want to make sure we get white and black in there.
And then Zach goes, your truck looks like a checkerboard. I go, super funny.
Okay.
And then I came back, and I drank a coffee. I complained about some stuff.
That's fine.
And then we
Did you
watched
get
drifting.
coffee from Buc-ee's? Mm-hmm. Sorry, this is a drift show.
Not like a Buc-ee's coffee.
Buc-ee's coffee's good?
No. It's not a Buc-ee's coffee. It's like a brand they carry.
Oh.
Buc-ee's is very weird. They don't have like Starbucks stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like the Starbucks, like one.
One-ish.
Oh, not drifting?
Not drifting, but like all the autocross.
Oh, I only
Like
know about
11, I think.
We'll go with that, but I would look to the LS Fest, like their social media and stuff.
I think it's 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only know about the drifting. I'm sorry, but yeah. We got to educate the people. We're lying. We have no idea what's going on. Anyhow.
Happy to help.
All right. So, as you were.
What was I talking about?
Buc-ee's
something.
yeah.
I complained about stuff when I got back here. Drank a Buc-ee's coffee. It was all right. It's not Buc-ee's. It's the brand they carry because they don't have a lot of normal stuff, which is weird. And then I drank coffee. Felt pretty good. Then we set the track up, and then a bunch of people.
Quickly, man, you guys. Yeah, I know. What was I thinking? World class crew.
And then we watched drifting. Picked up cones.
Not drifting on the track. Oh no, yeah, that's actually when we actually got the practice. You're talking about.
Went out there.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we actually practiced tonight.
Right.
And then I made fun of my friends.
That's also good.
I said, "You're bad at drifting."
That's bonding.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like,
0.
I haven't drifted in years. So they're like, "You suck," and I go, "Probably." And then I started drinking raspberry twisted teas.
Sounds like
big day.
Sounds like a good day.
It was a big day.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Pretty big day.
Tomorrow's gonna be a better day.
Yeah, not gonna be as hot.
It's not gonna be as hot. We're gonna have more drifting, which is good.
Yeah.
So what's the plan? Tell the drivers, if there are any drivers watching this, tell them, what do you look, if you had to tell the drivers, hey, listen, stop sucking or hit this zone better, or what the hell are you doing? Stop lifting off the throttle. What advice would you give the drivers?
Just do it.
Just do it.
They're like, what can I do better? I'm like, you know.
That thing that you're not doing.
Because they know.
Yeah.
They know.
They just need a little positive reinforcement.
Like, well, what kind of feedback? And I go, the thing you think you're not doing good? And they go, oh, you mean like outer one, and then I transition, I do this, and then when I hit the inner 3, I get and I go,
that's it.
And they go,
you're really good.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
That's experience right there. That is experience. I would have tried to give them some criticism or try to make up something that I don't remember.
Well, it's also it's a similar thing of like everybody's like, oh, Pat, you're so funny. I go, oh. And they go, oh no, you're hilarious. You're a stand-up comedian. And I go, I'm really not. All I do is repeat whatever the last person said, and I say it in a funny voice.
Oh.
And they go, no, you don't. And I go, no, you don't.
And they laugh.
And they go, oh shit.
Oh, you're right. Oh, prove your point.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, just do it. And that thing that you think you're not doing right, you're probably right. So just go with it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, you're judging. Oh.
Well, I wanted to ask, do you fear that you may get too funny to the point where they won't take you serious?
Oh, that's a good question. Where's that balance?
Let me put it at you this way.
Okay.
Look at this.
Yeah.
I'm goofy as fuck.
Yeah, I'm learning that. I've learned a lot.
If you take someone with hair like this seriously, you're wrong. You're foolish.
It's kind of like Krusty the Clown.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Yucko the Clown.
I say Sideshow Bob.
I like Yucko the Clown.
Sideshow Bob, okay.
Sideshow Bob, smart.
Yes.
Because did you guys hear me say those big brain things earlier?
You do say
meeting?
big brain things, and I'm like, dude, that was
Sideshow
deep.
Bob.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
Also, psychopath. I say maybe a touch of the tism.
Tism.
And maybe I gotta, I'll dip my toes in the tism. I don't know.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with dipping your toes in it.
Could be.
Okay, so tomorrow looks like it's going to be a good day. We're going to get some drifting. We're going to get some practice in. Mm-hmm. It's been a, roll with the punches kind of event so far because of the weather and the schedule. We're getting okay, this is going to happen. Oh, we're going to get this. Oh, we're not going to get this. It's been, it's kind of like a give and take. It's been an interesting relationship, almost an abusive relationship, but an abusive relationship that you want to stay in. So that being said, if everything goes to plan, practice, qualify, break, practice, tandem practice, break.
Qualifying driver's meeting.
And
Nick goes, oh, hey, thanks everybody for coming out. It was a great event.
Is he around here anywhere?
Yeah, he's over there somewhere.
Oh, okay.
And then everybody goes, and he goes, oh, qualifying 16th, whoever. And then qualifying 15th, this other guy. And we do that. And then I'll be like, oh, does anybody have any questions about the track? And somebody's like, do we have to drift the whole time? Or do we have to have tires on our car? And I go, whatever you want.
Right.
And then we go out, tandem practice.
Right.
Probably 45 minutes.
Yeah, because 16 drivers, tandem practice, that's plenty of time.
Give them a little bit. Parade lap.
Okay.
Beep, boop, boop.
Right.
Top 16.
Okay, till we finish.
Bingo bongo.
I like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to be done not at midnight.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
But a couple of these I got to drink.
Yeah. I might have to make the switch because I got something that was pretty bad last night.
You know what's really cool? Every time I've done the podcast, secretly.
That's the secret.
Do it live. They're live.
Hey, I mean, you're consistent.
Yeah.
Consistent. It's all about consistency, not just in judging, but also in driving. So, guys, make sure consistency is key. Okay, so what was I going to ask you?
So before you ask anything, I think I'm done.
Are you done?
This is great.
This was great.
Love you guys.
Oh, no, we love you.
All you guys.
Oh, we love you. All right, so we're not going to.
You too.
Wait, you take it off already?
Yeah, I mean, he's got people.
I did it.
He did the thing. He showed his face.
I just want to highlight another great thing about this event is that this is the first time we actually get him on the show in person. Because all the other times it's been remotely. Not to say that it was a detriment to it, but it was always a great occasion. It's even better now that it's in person.
Okay, yeah. But we got to release Pat Goodin back into the wild.
Yeah. Release the beast.
So we're going to release you back into the wild. Let's get the headset back.
Okay.
I look forward to hanging out with you tomorrow. Thank you, sir, for gracing us with your presence.
Love you guys.
Love you
Love
more.
you too, man.
I'm going to send somebody else over.
Love you most. Okay. Send them over.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, sir. Well, you heard it here first. Why am I by myself? Because Captain Ben's man in the helm.
Well, I could jump back in.
You can jump back in? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That
Sounds like a plan. So anyhow, we got blessed with Pat Goodin to come on the show. It is always entertaining. And I spoke to him earlier. This was like, one of those things like over the last year or so with Clutch Kickers and LS Fest, really gotten to get to know Pat Goodin, at least for myself. I mean, you know Pat Goodin longer because you've had more chance to hang out with him.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know how many. I mean, I can't imagine all the people that can say that they grew up with Pat. But
you could say that
to some extent. Yeah,
sure.
Just got to be careful with that because it's very loud.
I'm going to put it here because I'm assuming the next person is going to pop up behind us.
Yeah, and they're already on the way. So, sir, you take the hot seat back there. I'm going to jump back out.
All right, there we go. This is the live edition of the Zach Polof Show.
What's up?
I'm chilling, you know what I'm saying? So Pat Goodin came over here. It was a pleasant surprise. I made up questions that, I don't know, because we had to talk about event stuff. But so what's your choice of beverage this evening?
Well, I'm 3 Twisted Teas in, but I'm currently out.
He obviously hangs out with Pat Goodin.
Yeah,
right?
so I was never a big Twisted Tea guy until I met Pat. I've always loved whiskey and bourbon.
He's got a fan out there. I think Mr. James Webb is actually announcing his love for you. But anyhow, so you're three.
I'm 3 in. 2 in. 3 in. I don't even know.
All right, good deal.
We're out. I know that.
So made a fan.
Okay, so that's why he ejecto Cito cut.
All right, so tell us about the event so far. Let's talk about event stuff.
Weather's been kind of crappy.
Yeah.
My man. See, never mind. We're no longer out, boys.
There you go. The refill. I was told I couldn't drink. Ben said I wasn't allowed to drink on I have to represent.
Don't show. Yeah, exactly.
I'll just hide it.
Just hide it.
It's non-alcoholic. It's fine.
Right, it's tea.
It's just tea.
We're in the South. That's what we do. We drink tea in the South. Anyhow,
big sweet tea guy.
All right, so we had some lightning. Didn't have rain, but we had lightning. But because of the track, blah blah, whatever, boing boing boing, we had to cancel the first session. But how do you give me your opinion on Texas Motor Speedway and having the event here running the FD layout?
So TMI has always been one of my favorite tracks. I ran Pro-Am here in 17 and 18, I think, with Lone Star Drift.
And where did they run? Did they run it on that track?
Yeah, they ran this. They ran the same-ish layout. It's very similar.
Right.
This track, for people who have never driven it, is super fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fastest you'll probably ever drive in your life.
Yeah, it seems it's intimidating watching it.
It's really intimidating for guys who have never driven at speeds in excess of 70.
Mm-hmm.
This will probably be it's a gnarly track.
You need fourth gear.
Yeah, if you're in an S chassis with any kind of stock gear ratio, a Z with any kind of stock gear ratio, you're in fourth pinned the whole time. A lot of the guys with quick changes are probably 115, 120 mile an hour wheel speed.
Nice.
Or more. The driving we did get to do in practice, there are 7 or 8 drivers who look really, really good.
Yeah.
They're just killing it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys who I don't think have ever driven here who are having a good time, and after the first 10 or so laps, they seem to get it.
Mm-hmm.
This track is literally all about just not being afraid to go fast and staying committed.
Right.
100%. If you can just get over the fear of clicking your car into fourth gear and staying matted, then this is the most fun track you'll ever drive.
Right. It looks like fun, but it definitely I'm watching these guys, and it's you're just trying to get that. It's a long straight, man. It's a long straight that you got to make your way down. At least it seems that way. It looks like it's narrow and long.
It's a long straightaway. The inner clips are really fast paced. You have to be like when I drove it in 2017 or 18 in my JZ Coupe, watching the in-car back after the fact, it's like everything out the window is a blur. Like there's no like real time to react. It's all muscle memory. Like it's just insanely. You can literally go as fast as you want to go on this track.
Yeah, as fast as you can go. Yeah, it's as fast as the ramp will allow you.
The transition from outer 1 to outer 2 is also super gnarly because you come out of outer 1 matted, full throttle transition, like, and you don't really start to slow down to the very end of the outer zone. So there's a lot of room just to carry a lot of speed through a lot of angle and just like let the car eat all the way through the center section. It's a, like I said, really, really fun track. It's also just really terrifying. Like
it looks. I get that. A question: if you had to give any of the drivers advice on what they're doing, Pat was just like he said, just do it. Like that thing that you think you're not doing. Well, that's probably correct. He's good at that psychology thing.
So for the guys who are like mid-pack, I would say if you think you're going fast enough, you're not. You need to go like 5 mile an hour faster because it seems like all the guys in the middle-ish of the pack just don't have the wheel speed or commitment to get all the way out to the zones. It's like they're kind of timid to go as fast as they need to go.
Right.
You've got to get past that fear.
Right.
Literally, you cannot hit the zones on this track if you were just not carrying a boatload of speed.
Right.
Like, this isn't a track where it's like, oh, I can transition and grab the handbrake and float to the zone because the gap from zone to zone is very small.
Right.
And it's really hard to stretch all the way from like 1 to 2 with no momentum.
Right.
Or even out of the inner clips to 1 with no momentum. Like if you come through the inner clips on the brakes, like you have no momentum to get to outer 1, and there's not enough real estate there to just drive out there after the clips.
Yeah. I will tell you, I feel like there's been way more useful information in this interview with Zach than with Pat Goodin. I'm just saying. It just seems like way more useful information. I mean, Pat Goodin's entertaining, but
he's Pat.
He's Pat,
Yeah.
He's Pat.
Question. Got a question. You've been a judge for a while. How do you feel about the role? Obviously, we've mentioned several times it's like the most hated job in drifting or the most thankless job in drifting. And how are you taking on the role?
So I don't mind it at stuff like LS Fest. Like at LS Fest, it's a really fun time because it's like a different atmosphere than yes, it's a competition. Yes, there's a small amount of money on the line. But at the end of the day, most of these drivers are here because they're either sponsored by Holly or they want to get new fans or they want to do something bigger than just like go for money. Like this is a great place to market and meet new vendors and potential sponsors. So the atmosphere here is a lot better because we go into the drivers meeting, letting them know, hey, we don't necessarily judge on a curve,
right?
But it's not as serious as like FD or Clutch Kickers was or like Riverside. It's not as serious as that. So they go in up front knowing, hey, we're here to put on a show, like make some new fans, potentially market, do some new sponsorship stuff. So it's like judging here is like actually kind of fun.
Right.
Because the drivers make it fun.
Right. Some of the stress is removed from it.
Yeah, I think there's been like maybe 3 incidents in the whole time I've been with Nick and the Holly team doing the LS Fest Drift Challenge where like drivers were like, hey, I don't really think this was right, but like I understand it.
Right.
There's never been an incident where somebody's like got in any of our faces that I can remember and like screamed and yelled and like
not like Clutch Kickers.
No, there's there's none of that. So it's not bad. I don't actually mind judging. I've judged quite a few competitions outside of LS Fest.
Well, you got the personality for it, too. Like, you're like, this is it, man. You either deal with it or not. I'll listen to you if you got a valid point. But other than that, so I think you got to have a certain personality that can take it.
Yeah, and, I feel like when drivers ask, I'm very straightforward. Like, this is why I think you lost. You don't agree with it? That's fine.
Right.
But, this is what I saw. Like, if you don't like it, watch the replay.
Right, exactly. Yeah, which we're working on, as we grow into Kentucky, we should have a little more for you guys as far as on the live stream end. So, aside from the event, what's your next project as far as cars? Because, you're kind of in between cars right now, or what's going on?
So I bought an E46 M3 from Dorte.
Smart buy.
I did not buy it to be a drift car.
He did.
I did not.
Lies.
I would never, not an M3 chassis. I'd buy like a 330i and convert it or something.
Okay, that makes sense. I
wouldn't do an M3 chassis. Next project, I've been talking to a couple people about this for a while. I really want to do an S550. Which is really weird coming from me because I'm like the Corvette guy.
Right.
Arguably, outside of Taylor Hull's car. I know I was the first one to have a GSR 4-speed in a Corvette functioning, running, driving, and testing.
Okay.
Big LS guy. So for me to want to go to a Mustang is like kind of weird. But I love the way that the RTR cars seem to drive. I really want to kind of see and play with the mechanical grip that the S550 chassis has.
Have you talked to Chelsea at all about it?
Not directly, but I have some friends who've been doing Mustangs that have been in touch with Chelsea about it, and like Pat feeds me a lot of information that him and Chelsea talk about.
Right.
And I think currently the S550 is probably the fastest out-of-the-box chassis. Period.
Mustang. Oh, period? Like
period.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah, like, I mean, look at how fast the RTR. I mean, yeah, okay, so even though they're in the 650s now or whatever the new chassis designation is, like, look at how violent those cars are when they drive. Like, they just look so hooked up all the time.
I heard they're not fun. Like, it's like taming the beast.
Yeah, but
like,
I mean, look at
LZ had some. I mean, it took them a while to get used to the chassis.
Yeah, but then look at Vaughn getting it.
Well,
look at James getting it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
like,
well, James, yeah.
I mean, James seems to struggle when he's chasing people, but he's been in the chassis for, like, I don't know, 30 laps total probably.
Right.
But out front, they're, like, unstoppable. Like, when they're in the lead position, they're literally, like, they're so fast. They look – I don't want to do something to that level. I ain't got that kind of money. I ain't trying to build a $300,000 car.
Right.
But, like, they seem like the mechanical grip in the Mustang would be a lot of fun to play with. And I drive with the throttle pedal. I don't really like brakes. So
okay.
Like,
yeah, well,
yeah. So I kind of want to try one. I've never done a Mustang. I've never really done anything that wasn't an LS. I did one JZ car for like 6-7 months. I had a JZ car.
Yeah.
I've never done anything that's not an LS based car. So I just kind of want to, now that I'm not doing like competition stuff or like running series or anything, I want to go back to kind of what I was doing when I was in Pro-Am and just kind of like play with stuff for a little bit and then see what happens.
Do you ever think that there might be competitions in the future for Zach that, I mean, you can judge a little bit, but it's always better to be behind the wheel?
Probably not.
Really?
I didn't really like...
Not even for just like, I'll do this one for the hell of it.
I mean, maybe. Like, I'm not going to say I'm never going to run any competition, but like something big. Like, I've wanted to do the Gambler at some point, just because I have a lot of friends that drive in it. Doing the LZ Invitational at some point would be sick if I could somehow get into that.
Yeah.
But probably not. I was never like super huge on competition driving, even when I was driving. I've been driving for like, I don't know, 15 years.
Right.
Like, mostly.
Right.
I think I only did like 2 or 3 like legitimate seasons of competition drifting.
Right.
I like it.
Takes a lot of toll on you, though.
It takes a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't like to lose. So, like, I mean, anybody that saw my Corvette build for clutch kickers was like, I literally spread absolutely no expense on that car.
Yeah.
For, I mean, like a realistic level. Like, I'm not trying to build like Alex S14 that's like, mil spec and stuff. But, like, I mean, it's fully built 418, high compression, dog box winners, like some of the best stuff you could buy.
Right. Yeah.
And I never enjoyed driving the car. It's so expensive. Like, if I could give any advice to people who are wanting to get into competition drifting, don't try and jump to the forefront. Like, just enjoy the road.
Right.
Like, don't spend $180,000 up front because I promise you're going to get burnout.
Well, we were talking about that. Weren't we talking about that last night? Even like in your setup, I think Pat was saying that, like, set the car up. Don't make it too hard for you to drive. It's more about being consistent, especially if you're new in the competition. You want to qualify, and you want to have consistency. You don't want to fight the car. So
yeah, unless you're like, you need to be really, really sure that competition drifting is what you want. Like, there's people I've met like Connor.
Yeah.
Like, when I met Connor and his dad and Andrew and like that whole family, it was like Connor knew he wanted to compete. He wanted to do well. He wanted to get into FD. Like, dedicated goal, but he came from a racing background. It's like a lot of people getting into drifting go after this. FD is a really unattainable goal for the average person.
Right.
It's a very limited field. I don't think people really understand what FD is. I mean, the guys in Pro 1 are arguably the 32 best drifters in the world, with a few exceptions that are in Europe and that don't compete in FD. But like, that is the elite of the elite. That's like basically going into go-kart racing and go, I'm going to go to Formula 1.
Right. Yeah, not so much.
Yeah, like pro spec?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, we're talking about that, like, oh, you suck, oh, that guy sucks, or, Kyle Mohan, oh, he sucks, and we're like, no, you No, you don't understand. You're watching it's like the top 0.5 percentile go at it, and he's at the bottom of the top 0.5, which is still topping 1% in the world.
Yeah,
right?
he's like in the top 32 of 36 of the best drivers in the world.
Right,
like,
exactly. Wow.
There's probably a handful of people outside of FD that could beat him straight up in drifting, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, any sport's going to have that. You always have your armchair quarterbacks, right? Yeah. The people that, they get on a sim and they kill it, and whatever, but that's interesting.
I like to think I'm pretty good. I'm not beating Kyle Mohan in a battle.
Right,
like,
exactly.
I know that. Like, no, I know better. Like,
yeah. That's interesting. Shoot, I forgot. Sorry, he's just got so many things going on back here. Now I remember talking about projects, motorcycles.
Yeah.
Oh, you bought a few.
Like,
are you still in it, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, hit and miss. So, I was into bikes before I was really into cars. My dad was always into bikes when I was growing up. I've had motorcycles since I was like 16. I've been on dirt bikes and stuff since I was probably like, I don't know, 4. Mm-hmm. Motorcycle stuff was something that I was into well before I got like more involved in drifting, whatever you want to call what I was doing. Mm-hmm. Still into them. I still do some track days here and there. I have a problem with flipping stuff. So I go through cars and bikes and stuff quite regularly. I've sold the majority of the motorcycles because I ordered a 2023 R1M.
Oh, fancy.
Ooh. Hello.
Yeah, so I had a 2014 BMW HP4, which I bought because my dad had one when I was like mid-teens, and I didn't love it because it scared me to death. Mm-hmm. But I saw one pop up, and I was like, got that weird nostalgic, like, man, it'd be really cool to own this. The bike still terrified me. I rode it like, I don't know, 8 times.
Yeah.
Too much bike for the street. Like.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
So I have both my Supermotos still. And I recently sold both my R6s and the HP4 to pay for the R1M.
Okay.
But they're still here. I don't know what the future's going to hold for me with motorcycles. Motorcycles never been something I've been into like I have been drifting. Like, motorcycles are more for me just kind of like go relax after work or like relax on the weekend. They're not something that I want to do remotely as seriously as I would want to do drifting if I decide to go back into that.
All right. Well, who do we got over there on the other side of the vehicle? I only see nipples. That's all I can see is his nipple. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Oh, it's Eugene.
It's Eugene?
It's Eugene.
I think. Huh? What happened?
It's not the worst guy
ever.
Oh,
it's not the worst guy ever? I don't know. So I think we're going to grab Eugene here. Is there anything you want to say to your fans?
I have fans? What?
I'm your fan.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Not really. Be on the lookout. Like, there might be something coming. I don't know yet. Well, we've been working on some stuff in the background.
You can take that a few different ways.
You can take that however you want. Don't text me. Don't message me. Don't email me. Don't ask.
All right. So tomorrow, everybody that's watching this, drivers, if you check this out before you compete tomorrow, don't suck.
Yeah, don't suck. Go fast. Don't suck.
Go fast. Don't suck. And emphasis on go fast.
Yeah, like
more
fast.
than ever. Yeah.
If you think you're going fast enough, you're not.
You're not going fast.
If you're not outpacing Nate or Jack Davis, you're not going fast enough.
Yeah. just don't lift. Never lift. Well, yeah. I mean, when you get to after hours on number 2, then you can lift. But, other than that, don't lift. All righty, sir. Always a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll do it again. All right, let's get Eugene over here. All right, Ben. So what's going on? What we got? What?
No, nothing.
Come on down. Grab a seat here. Luxury. This is about as good as it's going to get, my friend. Put that on for me. Take it. Oh, yeah, I agree with that. All right, so I'm not even going to say anything. So introduce yourself and tell everybody what you drive and what you're doing here today.
All right, awesome. Well, my name is Eugene Feygelman. I drive an S13.4 truck. It's a little bit unique because it started as a hatchback. The back got cut off, and now it's like a little pickup truck. For those that have been in the drift community for a while, they might even recognize the car because popular guy Dan Savage, it was his Pro-Am car. So the Sicky truck, when it was blue and orange, it's the same exact car. Oh. I still have his sticker from his Pro-Am days on the roof of the car because I just think it's so cool.
Dan, what happened to Dan?
He's
That's like a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, he's as far as I know, he's competing on the East Coast. I think he's pretty much just doing a lot of fun stuff. He has a S13 coupe with the VQ, I believe. I think he's just having a good time.
Okay.
He's a family man now, so he's taking really good care of his family and just just going to doing what we all started with, going back to the fun stuff.
Good. And I'm seeing that, we'll talk about that in a minute, but I'm seeing the turn, drifting becoming, it's just more drivers out there now, and it's starting to turn into you have your pro guys, and then instead of having pro or grassroots only, it's like now you got the pro, and then you have these demos or competitions like LS Fest. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. Sure. What brings you out to LS Fest today?
So I am a Pro-Am driver, so I'm working towards getting my pro license to become a pro driver because I love drifting and I really want to find a way to make it economically make sense, which drifting typically doesn't. But it's interesting because in today's drifting world, a lot of drivers and a lot of people have discovered that there are financial opportunities without having to do such a high level and having to have the whole pro program.
Right.
Because before it was like some Pro-Am guys and grassroots guys and some big names would get support, but not as much. But now drifting is growing where even Pro-Am guys like myself are getting a lot more support than we used to.
Right.
And so guys like Dan Savage and even Nate Hamilton a lot, they're finding a lot of financial opportunities without having to commit to the whole expensive pro program.
Right.
It's not easy, of course. They're still putting, like Nate puts in a lot of work.
Of course.
I mean, running 144 print house, he's working his butt off, but he found a way to make it make sense without having to go through the stresses of running a whole pro program.
Right.
Myself, I haven't quite figured that out.
Okay.
And if I find a way to make that work really well, I might take that opportunity. But I also enjoy competing, so going pro is a dream.
Of course. Yeah, that's it. That's where you want to get.
Exactly. So I want to give it my all. I want to give it a go and hopefully get there. Yeah. And if that doesn't work out, then I'll look for other opportunities because I doubt I'll ever stop drifting.
No. I'm never going to stop.
You get infected. It's like AIDS, Once you have it for life.
In a good way. In a good AIDS.
It's good. Well, I don't know if it's good AIDS because it's the AIDS that leave you bankrupt, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But you enjoy it.
Yeah, so it's like the biggest challenge in drifting in general is doing it but finding a way to make it make financial sense.
Yeah, I think one of the words that I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
But one of the words that that seems to I've heard quite often, and I've said it a few times, and I think Chelsea Denofa talks about that. Let's talk about sustainability. We're not just talking about the environment, but we're talking about the vehicle, right? At what level you're going to compete, but you want to make it sustainable. And that's also something that Rome CP talks about a lot, is that, you make your car so you can fix it quick, right? And there's certain things that you can do. Don't overdo certain things because when you're in a pinch, you need to be able to repair it quickly and cheaply.
Exactly. So it's absolutely all of that. All of drifting is finding a balance, right? Whether it's in the car, whether it's in your program, whether it's how you want to live your life. It's finding the balance of how do you sustain what you want to do, right? Big horsepower cars are cool, but they're expensive not only to build but to run. When you have a lot of horsepower, you're going through tires. You also need tires with more grip.
Right.
It gets expensive,
Right.
So and honestly, a guy that comes to a drift event in like a stock 350Z can get a lot more life for a lot less cost and have probably equally as much fun.
As long as he has good earplugs.
Yeah, well, if he doesn't straight pipe it, he'll be all right. Yeah. But, I mean, I think if he straight pipes it, the rest of us need the earplugs.
Right, there you go.
So
exactly.
He should hand them out,
Right, exactly. It should be required, right?
But it's finding that balance, of what you want to do, what's worth it to you, and what you can afford that's not going to make you pull your hair out.
Right. Because we see you're getting a lot of new drivers. We have a lot of young drivers out there. I mean, one driver that I know pretty well, Jaden Martirana. He's in the pro spec class. He's like 15 years old.
Yeah.
And he's doing a great job. Now, and that's one thing that's interesting. But what I love about drifting, and with some people that watch drifting, and you hear it a lot, well, that's not fair. This guy's got 1,000 horsepower, blah, blah. This guy's got this. That's what I love actually about drifting. I think a lot of other you guys do as well, because I think you said this earlier, how am I going to stack up?
Yeah.
Right? How do I stack up against a guy that has twice as much horsepower? And never how do I hear drivers complain having 400 horsepower, having a battle a guy with 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
Because you want to challenge yourself as a driver and see where you stack up. And that's what I fell in love with the sport, because it's almost like a no holes barred thing, right? And it's just fun. And I think that's great. You're on the right path, and that's sustainability and getting the right mind frame. I think that's great advice for anybody that is interested in it. Absolutely. Is there any other type of advice if somebody's watching today? You'll hear me if you ever hear me in announcing. A lot of times I'll try to make sure that every so often I say, hey guys, if you want to get into drifting, go to the pits. Help the drivers merchandise, whatever, help sponsor them, tag them in their Instagram page, take pictures, but approach the drivers, because one of the things that made me fall in love with drifting the most was the drivers. So anybody out there that's trying to get into it, what kind of advice would you give them?
Honestly, the first piece of advice is kind of hard to do, but it would be self-reflection. Okay. Ask yourself what you think you want to get out of it, right? Are you a competitive kind of person where you find yourself wanting to be the best of the best? Or are you kind of person that just likes to party and have a good time with your friends? Right. If you're a competitive person, then I would recommend to start doing the things that work towards that, right? Like networking with Pro-Am drivers or pro drivers. Right. Start seeing how people are building their program. Start thinking about how do you build a competitive car, right? Because the way you act at events and the things you do will be different depending on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to be competitive, now you have to think about what car do you want to build that's going to be competitive, right? And then you have to think about how much money can you invest into making that car competitive. And then you have to start networking and get with companies and drivers and people to grow your program. It's a lot of work, but if you're a competitive person and that's what's going to, fulfill your needs and fulfill your desires, that's what you got to do. But if you're a person that doesn't really care about being the best, you just love hanging out with your friends, having a good time, then it becomes different. Then you start investing into the simple community. You don't network, just become friends. Buy a simple car that is sustainable. 350Z, maybe an E46 BMW, E36. Something simple, something that you don't have to put an LS in, don't have to get a whole lot of power. Throw coilovers in it, weld the diff, and just send it and have a good time. Bring your homies. Go have barbecues at the track, drink beers when the event's over, and just have a good time. And you won't probably make any money, but you're just going to love your life. Right. You're going to enjoy it. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. We talk often about, when you start talking about the programs, how driving is really a small portion of it. Right. Exactly. It really, you obviously need to be consistent. You need to drive. But when you start getting into it, it becomes like you're trying to develop a program. That driving portion, really, right now, I mean, it is LS Fest after all.
Yeah, it is LS Fest, but it's like, okay, he's pulling out 12 o'clock. Anyhow, but the other thing I wanted to ask you was, how long have you been drifting for?
I've been drifting about 10 years. Okay. But competitively, realistically, about 2. Okay. So I did minor competitions and things like that. I started as a just-for-fun drifter. Okay. I had never had dreams of becoming competitive or winning or doing anything like that. I just wanted to do hood rat things with my friends, as they say. Yeah. And that's how it all began. But then the unfortunate part was I started becoming friends with some Pro-Am drivers and some pro drivers. Started rubbing off on you. And they started telling me that, like, I don't know, you have some real talent, you should really give it a shot. And I was like, maybe I should. Right. And so they effectively ruined my entire life. So, okay. But competitively, I've done Pro-Am competitions for about 4 years, but I didn't ever take it as serious as I have the last 2 years. Okay. And the honest part of it is just, I haven't been able to financially support a good program up until about 2 years ago. Okay.
Okay. So that kind of leads to my next question is, what would you say is probably maybe it was a difficult lesson, maybe it was an easy lesson, but what would you say is the most valuable lesson you've learned from start to finish in your drifting career?
Be careful in cutting corners.
Okay.
Most
that's good advice.
Most drifters, especially starting, will try to find the cheapest solution to something, right?
Okay.
Some things you can do that with.
Right.
Right? Like, you don't need 3-piece wheels to go drifting, right? Like, you can get stock Maxima wheels and you can drift on them if you don't got a whole lot of power, right?
Yeah.
Spend $50 on some burners and just send it.
Yeah, drifting is like the world of knockoffs. Anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in other areas, like if it's something mechanical, if it's a crucial part to the car, if you cut the corners in the wrong place, you will end up spending double the money that you would have if you just got the right parts from the get.
Okay.
If it's suspension is crucial. It sounds funny,
right?
Especially because you can go on eBay and buy an arm kit for like $100.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It'll work for 3 days, and then you'll end up by the end of the year, you'll go through 3 of those kits,
right?
Which is what you would have spent if you just got a real good kit. Exactly. Yeah. So don't cut corners in the places that matter. Like take wiring seriously, take engine parts extremely seriously.
Okay.
I mean, engine repairs, transmission repairs, those are the most expensive.
Okay.
So just spend the right parts, get the right fittings, get the good stuff. It'll save you in the long run.
Yeah. Do you utilize, and this is another aspect of when it gets into competition, for those of people that want to get serious competition or make that transition like you did from just having, hood rat stuff or whatever I can't remember the saying, it's getting late. But spotter.
Yes.
Do you have a spotter?
I do.
What do you how do you direct your spotter?
It's kind of interesting. It took me a while to figure out how to deal with the spotter, but I realized you and your spotter need to be friends and understand each other's language, right? He needs to understand how to speak to me, and I need to understand what he's saying. Okay. And we were lucky enough to be friends before he became my spotter. Okay. And that made it really easy for us to read each other.
What's his name?
His name is Patrick.
Okay.
Patrick Peebles. So he's over there somewhere pretending
to
do some wiring.
It's getting quiet in the background, so
yeah, exactly.
Like people starting to leave. But okay, so that's good.
So for a spotter, number one is crucial in my opinion.
Right.
Because if anything, it's really nice to hear someone tell you that you trust, be like, you killed that lap. Okay. And that's huge.
Right,
for
confidence.
For your mind, because if you don't see what you did,
right,
you don't actually know. You don't know how well you filled the zone. Right. You don't know if you really were that close to the inner clip. You know, you don't know if your transition looked wonky. So with the spotter, it adds so much confidence, and it's so good to bounce ideas off of someone. Okay, right. For me, I'll ask him. I'll be like, "Hey, I'm thinking I want to attempt using this trick or this instead of e-brake, I want a clutch kick into the initiation. What do you think?" And he'll be like, "Dude, you're doing fine. Stop thinking and just drive."
Wow. Nice.
And so he helps me center myself, also adds confidence, and then it's good because he'll be like, "Hey, just so you know, this guy in turn 3, he e-brakes in. If you dive on that inner clip, you may end up in his door, right? Not at his door,
right? But in a door, right?
So be careful. Don't take both of yourselves out in competition. Just know that that's happening.
Nice.
And so it's good. A spotter, to me, in my opinion, is crucial. It's not that hard to find a good spotter.
Yeah, and be able to. But you said relationships are important.
Yeah.
So what are some of the goals that you have for the rest of 2023?
Planning on getting my pro license. I'm currently competing at Full Lock Drift in Oklahoma. It's a Pro-Am series. I am 3rd in points right now.
Nice.
If you take the championship, you have a guaranteed FD license, and then 2nd and 3rd have petition endorsements. I would prefer not to have a petition endorsement. I prefer to just be able to walk in, you know?
Yeah.
But really, that's the goal. End in top 3, prove that I can be at that level, and get my pro license, continue developing my program, and continue to have fun, and continue to deliver for my partners and do all that. Yeah, exactly.
Good deal. All right, so it's getting quiet in the background. But before we wrap it up, Instagram, YouTube, sponsors, go down the list. Go down the list.
Let's do it. All the shout-outs, huh?
Yeah, all the shout-outs.
All the shameless plugs?
That's what it's about. So, and I don't want to cut you off, but the one thing that I try to just hammer through with people, because a lot of you guys don't know us. You never heard of us before, right? We come from South Florida, Miami area. We've been in the drifting community for a long time, but our goal and our heart has always been with the grassroots and the guys that are working their way up the ladder. We are here for you guys. And that's what we're trying to make sure that everybody knows. We're not trying to get any spotlight or anything. I mean, some recognition, some follows would be nice, but
Sure.
But we want to shout out you guys. We want to do whatever we can to help you guys achieve your goals. So that being said, go with your shameless. It's not shameless anymore.
It's not shameless. Let's do
shameless.
it.
Yeah.
I first got to thank Yellow Speed Racing USA. Okay. They've been with me for years. They provide me a huge amount of support. I have their coilovers, their brakes, fantastic parts. Bang for your buck.
Okay.
Unparalleled.
What type
honestly.
Now, what are they, like suspension? What is it?
Yeah, they do suspension. They have arms. They primarily do coilovers and brakes. That's the pieces that I have. Okay. But they do a lot of stuff. They work a lot in the Subaru community. So if you have like an STI or WRX of any year, they got everything.
So that
you need.
rally background, that's very helpful.
Yeah, they have a huge rally team. So if you're into rallying, they do all that. Then Patterson Performance is the shop that they're based out of. They also have a performance shop. They did all the tuning on my car to make it rip as hard as it rips right now. I would be nowhere without them. I want to shout out D&D Performance Interior. We partnered the first year together this year, and they are killing it. Their parts are awesome.
I love their carbon fiber wheels.
Oh, dude, I have their carbon fiber seat.
Ooh, nice.
You go check it out. It's in the car. But it was an interesting experience because being a simple driver, I never thought interior was that important. As long as things turn and levers pull, what else do you need? Yeah. It's not like that. Once you get a good setup, it changes your driving. So that's awesome. Kansai wheels are fantastic. I have their Corsa bronze wheels, 18 by 9.5. Yeah. I was fortunate enough to get a set last year here at LS Fest for winning the Drift Spirit Award.
Nice. Okay.
And then I spoke with Chris, and he was super cool, and now we're partnering this year together.
Nice. Okay.
And it's nice to finally be on one consistent wheel.
Yeah.
Then SFP Aero, he's a buddy of mine from California. He's been around for years. I have one-off custom front fenders. They don't exist anywhere in the world, which is also why he hates me, because I've already broken
something.
But his support has not been would not be possible without him, because he did a lot of body work as well. He doesn't just do fiberglass, but he bonded the car, made it look like an actual car when I do my best to make it look like not an actual car. Right. Then I have Merrick Media and Shutter Studios. Those are my two photographers and videographers. They have their own companies. They've been ride or die with me for more than a year.
Which is extremely helpful. Try to take your own footage and drive as you can.
Yeah. Anyone that's wanting to start your program, media is huge. You don't understand how much of an impact it makes.
Right.
So, and then for myself, my name is Eugene Feygelman. You can find me on all my socials as EF Racing. 414 Eugene Feygelman Racing. 414. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Nice.
Don't have a Twitter. Sorry about it.
I mean, you're hitting all the other bases. So
There's only so many hours in a day, man.
Right. Twitter takes a lot of time too.
Yeah, and I don't know how. I've never really been on there. I don't know how much useful stuff is on there.
Yeah. Unless you want to follow Trump, but other than that, it's he's on there all the time.
Yeah, that's the place where you get to be a real keyboard warrior, right? Is you get to you get to say all kinds of stuff.
Of crap. Yeah.
Get 4 million people that agree with you, but nobody will say that in real life.
Right.
So.
All right, well, guys, check him out, Eugene. It's been a pleasure to meet you, dude, and I'm looking forward to just watching you achieve your goals.
Thank you.
That's going to be amazing. So
I'm working on it, so I hope to make you proud.
You will. We're going to be proud. Just as long as you're giving it your all, you make us proud.
What if you give more than your all? What happens then?
Then you become an FD pro.
No, then you become bankrupt. Thank you guys so much.
Right,
it's been such a pleasure.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
Set this down.
Yeah, let's put it down there. Ben, you can come hop next to me, and we'll wind this show up. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. You too. See you tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Ben, thoughts? I've been running them out the whole time.
I just thought that it was kind of wild how we were able to set this up, and obviously it's one of those things where we're figuring it out along the way, and that's been the theme this whole weekend.
Wing it.
And it's great when it works, and then it's in some ways it's also pretty good when it doesn't work because we can make fun of it afterwards.
Yeah. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah, exactly. But we have to kind of like wrap things up because obviously we don't want to kind of like drive out of here in the dark with all the lights, shutting down.
Right. We want them to let us out so we can get back to the hotel room and actually get some sleep tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a pretty rough last night too.
Yeah, I mean the bed was comfortable though.
That's at least you had that.
All right.
Going on. Yeah, usually you're with your brother, so.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what do you say? Oh, it's like two bears.
Yeah.
It's a concert.
Yeah, but now it's a solo
I'm
act.
all by myself. I got the bed all by myself.
It's a solo act.
It's a solo act. That's fine. It's fine. We're good.
Fine.
But yeah, so I guess we'll wrap it up. And this has been episode 61, and we're approaching. Never mind. Another number.
Yeah. We'll get there hopefully eventually. I mean, who knows what can happen. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Also, just make sure to just follow our socials for some of the action that's going to take place tomorrow. And actually, I just wanted to mention that because I didn't get to do that for the practice that if you're in the area, in the Texas area or in the neighboring states, just come on out to Texas Motor Speedway for the LS Fest event taking place tomorrow. I mean, you already know you're getting qualifying, you're getting a competition, and you're getting some of the best drivers in town and around the state. I mean, the country. To drill down and actually try to acquire some of the prizes, that exclusive jacket that Holly's offering.
Right. That's pretty cool, yeah. And then, of course, if you can't make it, watch the live stream.
Yeah.
We're going to be live streaming. It's a test live stream, so be patient with us.
Low expectations.
Don't be overcritical. This is a trial run for this season. Hopefully next season we'll be able to put a little more effort into it. We'll have maybe a little more backing or some help to be able to get the extra equipment we need. Right now, this is the carry-on version of a live stream.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, it's what we could get on a carry-on.
That cuts very deep on so many levels.
It does. This is the carry-on version of a live stream, so be patient with us, but please enjoy, and I guess tune in next time.
Look at that bug.
There's a lot of bugs out here.
Yeah, that's another thing we didn't get into. All right. Good night.
Good night.